Welcome, everyone. We're going to begin the webinar on damage repair preparation. Credit toward ICAR knowledge areas can be awarded by completing the class and following the instructions at the end of this presentation. I'm Melissa Joels with RDA Impact, and we have Kirby Stevens, National Accounts, and Dennis Beardsley, North American Training Manager for Saint-Gobain. They're your presenters today. The presentation will take approximately 40 minutes. At the end of the presentation, we will send you a test, which you will need to complete and email back to Dennis with your ICAR information. And we will include instructions with that. We are recording the presentation and we'll make it available to everyone in attendance today. And if you have questions, you can type them in the chat box at the bottom right of the screen and they will be answered during the presentation. Now I'll turn it over to Kirby.
Thank you, Melissa, and thanks for everyone that is attending this presentation today. We're excited to offer damage repair preparation to everyone. Dennis, there you go. Just a couple of disclosures that we must read, and I have to read them verbatim. Disclosure statement: it is the policy of Saint-Gobain Abrasives to fully disclose to all participants in this course that Saint-Gobain Abrasives is the provider of the curriculum used in this course. Refinish Solutions Group, an initiative of Saint-Gobain Abrasives, sells the products that are taught and used in this course. And then our antitrust, we follow the Combines Act, which protects free trade. There will be no discussion on pricing, times, or labor rates. Also, no discussion on how a body shop or collision repair company conducts its business. At Saint-Gobain, we are an ICAR sustaining partner, and we're very proud to be a sustaining partner for ICAR. As a sustaining partner, we support ICAR's vision and mission of delivering the latest repair knowledge and training to every collision repair technician. We believe in doing the right thing for the industry by helping deliver complete, safe, and quality repairs to the ultimate benefit of all of our families, friends, and neighbors. What does being an ICAR sustaining partner mean? Well, we hope we are able to reduce the training cost. As a sustaining partner, we help lower training costs, encourage shops to continue or even increase training to stay current with today's complex vehicles. We reduce the school fees. As a partner, we provide financial support to allow more schools to run programs that develop better trained entry-level technicians. And obviously, we're providing safe repairs. As a partner, we provide resources to help ICAR develop and deliver the training and services needed for safe repairs. Again, ICAR sustaining partner dedicated to repairing vehicles right. Trained shops are better partners, reducing liability and expenses, providing repair information, and ultimately making happy customers. As Melissa alluded to, at the end of the course, there will be a 10 to 15 question test. Passing this test will allow the student to receive a certification affirming completion of this course. Passing the test will allow the student to apply for an ICAR credit of 2 hours. Saint-Gobain, it's the company that Dennis and I work for. We operate in 68 countries. We file over 400 patents each year. We were created, the company became in existence over 350 years ago. We employ more than 180,000 employees. We are one of the top 100 most innovative groups in the world for the last 9 years. One of the 100 industrial groups in the worldwide and around 1,100 total manufacturing facilities. 1 out of every 4 products sold today by Saint-Gobain did not exist 5 years ago. That's an interesting fact. Our mission is Saint-Gobain designs, manufactures, and distributes materials and solutions which are key ingredients in the well-being of each of us and the future of all. They can be found everywhere in our living places and our daily life, in buildings, transportation, infrastructure, and many industrial applications. They provide comfort, performance, and safety while addressing the challenges of sustainable construction, resource efficiency, and climate change. In North America, we have 6 coated abrasive manufacturing and conversion locations. As you can see, 1 in Texas, we have 2 in Mexico, 1 in Canada, and then 2 in the Northeast in New York and Pennsylvania. products that are made at each of these locations include our sandpaper and conversions at our conversion facility in Stephenville, Texas, belts, disc, rolls in Reynosa, Mexico, all of our non-woven products. Down in Tijuana, we do our specialties, including flat wheels and cartridge rows. Plattsville, again, abrasive sheets and disc for the jumbo material. Troy, New York, we manufacture our abrasive belts and jumbos. And then our film product is done in Montgomeryville, Pennsylvania. RSG, so you've probably heard over the last few years, RSG and more with Saint-Gobain pushing this new logo. Well, what is the Refinish Solutions Group? Well, it's a select group of industry leaders that has come together to leverage the core expertise in our powerful network to assist you in improving your refinishing process and increasing your profitability. I basically like to say Norton has carborundum has made sandpaper for 135 years or more, and we do sandpaper very well, but we needed to be a total shop solution. Therefore, we formed the RSG group to be able to have a platform to be able to provide those solutions for the shop. Over 700 years of expertise. Again, you look at Norton, it was established in 1885. Carborundum, another company owned by Saint-Gobain in 1890. Frekla is a company that is now owned by Saint-Gobain. They were established in 1952. And then SolarGuard is another company that is solely owned by Saint-Gobain, and they were established in 1980. And then we bring in our partners, again, experts and leaders in their industry. DeVilbiss, been established since 1888. Fuser, Lord Fuser Products, 1919. American Brand Tapes, 1953, and Hutchins in the 1955. So again, over 700 years of expertise making the RSG Refinish Solutions Group. This time I want to turn this presentation over to Dennis. He has put in a lot of time and effort in providing this information to you guys on the damage repair preparation, and I look forward to his presentation.
Hey, thanks, Kirby. I appreciate that. We get asked a lot, and the last, I've been here with Saint-Gobain for be 8 years in November, and we get asked a lot about, hey, we need to be able to do a class for damage repair preparation, right? Prep. We're gaining new people in the shop, and they need to be shown the best practices using our products. So what we're going to talk about is safety, interior protection, right? Disassembly of damage area, double-sided tape, all right? Surface prep, aluminum, dent pulling, grip rules, feather edge, and masking. So let's go do it. I didn't put that there. This is me. But always wear personal protective equipment, gloves, mask, eye protection. No one wants anything in your eyes, right? So this has changed, right? With COVID, people are more, and as we're kind of getting out of that, right? We want to make sure we protect that customer's car. So we want to cover the interior seats, the floor mats, and so on. I notice when I go to the shops out in the field, a lot of folks are doing the steering wheel covers, the shifter covers, the seat. People want to make sure that their vehicle is protected. And plus, you should, even before COVID, you should be doing this, right? So we don't get any dirt, adhesives, whatever on the inside of that car. So very important to do this in the beginning of the process. Assess the vehicle damage, right? We want to wash the area just like it says right there, right? So warm water. I get told this all the time with new folks. Oh, you wouldn't believe, Dennis. They don't. The new guys, they need to be trained real well on washing a car. I'm not being funny. wash from the top down. Warm water is going to do a better job than cold water, and then rinse, and then assess for any damage. You'll be able to see it better if it's a clean vehicle versus a dirty vehicle. You know, I'm in the Northeast, so we live in the snow belt, which has been snowing for 6 months. I'm kidding, but darn right, close to it, right? You want to make sure that there isn't any salt or dirt or anything on there, to make sure that you assess what the damage is on the car, and no unrelated prior damage is not discovered, right, in that process. So before I dive into the disassembly of the damage area, you'll notice the YouTube emblem right up there in the upper right. What that means, if you go to YouTube, okay, an Academy by RSG on the YouTube channel, you can see all these videos. So this one, for example, you'll see a damage repair video I'm going to share with you, polishing video, you name it, we'll have it. So it's a really cool site to check out. What we're going to hit here is, you know, of course, carefully remove any trim, molding, and parts. Communicate with whoever the estimator is on what is damaged to ensure the correct part is ordered or built. Now, as we're sharing this, right? Parts are a challenge, so we want to make sure we don't miss anything these days, right, Kirby? Can't have that. Some of these guys are waiting forever for parts.
Yeah, correct. And we see that more and more as shops are piling up with work as cars are coming in because we can't a lot of times get the cars out waiting for parts. So it's important to identify this as early as possible in the process. And back to your other slide, and I apologize, I was on mute. I was trying to unmute, but washing the vehicle, that's the importance of that as well, just based on the ability to see every part that you're going to need early in the process.
Absolutely. Great point. Yeah, if you miss a part, it could cost you, and I'm not being funny, it could cost you 6 weeks, 6 months, you know, some cases you don't know. So we want to make sure we discover everything upstream versus down towards to where we're delivering the car. So again, see the YouTube emblem there? So insignia, I should say. Academy by RSG. If you click on the YouTube channel with that, you'll see double-sided attachment tape application. Maybe the molding's not available, right? So our only choice is to retape that molding, you know, taking care of it, making sure we don't damage it. We need to make sure it's clean with waterborne cleaner. We need to apply adhesion promoter. Place a double-sided tape on the trim. Now here's the thing. If you put the molding on and don't press on it, it's not going to stick. It's by design. So you can reposition the molding, okay? So it needs about 3 to 5 PSI of pressure, just a little, and then it stays. But it's the design of the double-sided tape is so it's so you can reposition it just in case it needs to go down or up or what have you. And it's a good option to have here. So
it's the biggest failures I think we see in most shops when applying double-sided tape is first the failure to not use the adhesion promoter, and we can't tell you strong enough how important it is for that step. Obviously, cleaning the area is very important as well, and everybody knows to clean. Everybody does a good job of cleaning, but then they skip putting on that adhesion promoter. They go straight to the tape. And then, as Dennis said, once you get that molding where you want it, just apply that small amount of pressure just to make sure that it adheres properly.
Absolutely. So surface prep. You want to clean the repair area with a waterborne cleaner followed by a solvent wax and grease remover. Wipe dry with a clean disposable cloth. Remove paint with a surface conditioning disc or file belt in low spots, okay? And I want to show you something, quick little video here that we're going to show you. We're going to pull dents with industry accepted method to return to the original shape, all right? If there are any visible studs, you know, of course, remove them with an 80 grit TR disc. So I got a quick video here to show you.
Before a damaged panel can be repaired, the technician needs to prepare by completing the following steps. As always, proper safety equipment should be utilized. Body panel preparation begins with cleaning the damaged area first with soap and water, and then with the appropriate wax and grease remover. Once this is complete, wipe the area dry with a clean cloth. This process removes any potential contaminants from the repair area. Next, remove any coatings from the damaged area with a Norton Beartex Blaze Rapid Blend 3-inch speed lock disc, or in the event of low.
I'm going to stop it right there for a second. We get asked a lot, why do we do the surface prep disc? Why don't I just grab a 36 grit, right, Kirby? And you certainly can do that, but it's too aggressive, right? That surface prep disc will give you around an 80 grit scratch. If you use something coarser than that, you're going to put deep gouges in there, which you have to fill later on with filler, and it could be asking the filler to do too much, right? So we want to start right here, and the whole idea of this disc is to remove the coating so we can use a stud puller to yank it back into the original shape.
And it's also the importance of using this disc. You know, the 36 and the 50 grit Rolex, it just heats the panel up too aggressively, and like you said, the gouging. The panels are thinner and thinner these days.
Absolutely. Okay. You want to really, and then you want to do a really good job of feather edging, of course, which I'm going to get into as we move farther down here. But we don't want to create a ton of damage. Thin panel, to your point, Kirby. We just don't need to. We have the surface prep disc. We can get it the metal exposed and able to pull the dent out. So next thing I want to talk about, and this is an eye opener, the grit rules. So I want to talk about 80 to 400. So we want to move in 100 grit increments, right? If we start with 80, we want to move to 180, okay? Either 220, 280. We don't care how you do it. It's just you have to get it. Here's an example: 80, 180, 220, 320, 400. Always do what the paint company wants you to do when we're speaking of using primer surfacers, right? If they ask for, 320 grit, then that's what you do. Some of them are going to ask for 400, right? But you certainly don't want to leave it in a coarser grit than the paint company's asking for. Just do what they say, and you'll be able to have repeatable repairs, right? But move in 100 grit increments. Right? That's a key point here. As you move up in grit range, right? So from 400 to 1,000, you're going to move in 200 grit increments. And what all that means is it's an easy way to remove that previous scratch. So if you have a 400 grit scratch, you move to 600, and if the final grit you need is 800, you go to 4, 6, and 800. Right? Removing the scratch properly, all right, will allow the technician to use less material and there be no imperfections left in the panel. All right. Next one is 1,000 grit. So this is when we get into final sanding, right? So when we moved into 1,000 grit, we move in 500 grit increments. So if we have 1,000 grit, we move up to 15, as you can see there, and up to 2,000. But you can't move from 1,000 to 2,000. It's too much of a, it's too much, right? And then if you're trying to polish something out, you'll see the 1,000 grit scratches because you're not able to remove it out. The last one here is from 2,000 to 3,000. You're going to go in 1,000 grit increment. All right, 1,000 grit increments. All right, to completely remove that 2,000 grit scratch, when you bump up to 3, all right, that's going to be the best way to go. Always check with the paint manufacturer on the final grit recommendation, right? With our surface for body filler or OEM paint surface. Always go with what they ask. We've been seeing different ways of going about it, right? So if you don't need to start with 80, you know, the first example there is an 80, 180, 223, 2400. The next one is 120, 223, 2400. However you get there, you get there. But just have to follow the grit rules, right? That's a key point. Right? I want to make sure we feather edge surrounding area, right? Using using the dual action sander with 80 grit. If you start with 80 grit, and you want to make sure that it's a nice transition, about a 1/4 inch per layer, so it's a nice smooth transition. So any body filler or primer surfacer that we're putting on there can be filled and leveled, and it looks really nice. Right. Masking. All right, windows and openings and all sorts of things that we need to deal with masking, right? We're protecting the rest of the vehicle that we're not repairing or not painting from any overspray. So we use fine lines. We use either 2 inch or 1.5 inch. We use masking plastic, you know, and we're protecting anything from headlamps to glass to moldings, you name it. We want to protect it and keep the dirt away from our painted area, right? We want to make sure that we protect all of that from overspray and dirt entering the paint area. There's a cool video here on masking, all right? And what it gets into, if I brought this right here. So when we talk about masking, we do not want to hard line an area, right? So a hard line an area would be putting it right to the panel and priming right up to the tape. We want to roll, right, that paper real nice like that. So when we spray into it, it doesn't have a hard line. It has a nice roll to it, okay? And that's what the stock gets into, right? So outline it with white masking paper. We want to make sure that it can handle and not soak through the paper. So we're going to want to use our Norton Paint Check masking. So to make sure that, you know, if we've masked a headlamp that's, you know, a nice LED headlamp or, not, you know, protect any of that stuff, that the material doesn't go through it. Then we outline the masking area with an example there is 1.5 inch masking, and then cover the entire vehicle with sheeting. Okay, and there's a great video on this. I encourage you to take a look at this. Academy by RSG. Trim masking. All right. So we have this right here from American Tape. Trim masking. So this right here, we can fold it right into the molding, right? If we're trying to pull it away, and we can change it, right? So we can fold this up here. Sorry about that. Right there, it'll contour real nice, and it'll pull right here away from the painted surface that we're trying to protect. Really cool product that we work with.
Dennis, why do you have to fold the tape over?
Great question. So a lot of moldings that we have for the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years, they're very tight fitting moldings, and we have to pull them away from the paint so we don't have a paint line from the painted area. We want to pull that back so the paint can get in underneath the molding that's sanded and cleaned, and we don't have a hard edge. Okay. We want to protect the jams in the body with either foams, all right, that we have. We can either put it on the closure panel or on the movable door if you want to. And that works really well. You know, all I can think of is gas doors also, you know, fender to door area, you name it. You know, we want to use foams to make sure we're keeping away that overspray. Okay. As Kirby mentioned, American tape is a more than 50 years, right? It's been around. There's an example there of taping up windshield molding. The different tapes that we have, right? Anywhere from PG to, oh gosh, you know, I've got OM right here. That's the orange stuff right here. Your most popular are probably going to be OM, PG, right? Or AM. Fine line tapes. Right? So we use fine line tapes for tight areas, and for we have here, right? For tight areas to, you know, what I'm thinking in my head, if it's too tight, you take it off. But if it's something that can be, what's in my head is a bumper cover, right? Where two-tone. That's a great example of where I see a lot of fine line tape these days. Okay. We want to make sure, right, good surface preparation, no tape edges. The tape is removed, okay? And how you want to do that, all right, is pull it from a 90-degree angle. The other thing about tape is you want to make sure that it doesn't get too cold or too hot. So you see shelf life and storage. You know, you don't want to have it in a cold area or in a very hot area. That's going to reduce its life, right? All right. Questions? Kirby, did you have any points on that before I move on?
No, Dennis, great job on the interior protection.
Excellent.
There's no
So
questions yet.
no questions yet?
Nope.
Okay. So to review, we talked about interior protection, double-sided tape applications, surface prep, the grit rules. That's a big one right there. Please use this material. This is very helpful for training folks out there. Masking is another big one, right? We don't want to spend a lot of time dealing with overspray and removing that. And then on to questions. There we go.
If anybody has any questions, go ahead and type them in the chat box and can give them to Dennis. And I'll just follow up by letting everybody know we will send you the test, and I'll send you Dennis's contact information. We'll have instructions. You just have to complete it. You can email it to Dennis.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see any questions, so you're just very thorough.
That's a wrap. All right.
Very
You guys
good job.
go ahead.
Good job.
Thanks to all. You know.
Yep.
You'll send a test to myself. Melissa will send that out to you. And any questions, don't hesitate to send us a message.
Yep. And you'll get your iCar credits. So thanks, everyone. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Kirby. And we'll be in touch with future training opportunities. Take care.